Welcome, everybody, to the Advanced Selling Podcast, the longest-running sales training podcast in the history of podcasts. My name is Brian Neal.
I'm impressed. It's been a few weeks since we've recorded, and you remembered every last word on the script. It's a script.
How long has it been? We have to look up the exact date of our first episode. I feel like it's in November.
September. It was September.
It is September, so we're a couple months past our 17th, correct? Or 18th?
18th. It was 2006.
Yeah, it was 18th year of podcasting. And when you tell people that, they don't believe you. We've got a big LinkedIn group on LinkedIn.
Remarkable.
It really is great.
You can stand me and I can stand you for 18 years.
We do still talk. We do get along just fine, I think. I love it. It's fun. And we hope you enjoy it too. We got the Insider program, by the way. This is a great time of year to look in the mirror and say, what am I going to do next year for 20?
Yeah, can I make a plug for the Insider really quickly?
Yeah,
on December 6th, we're doing our personal business planning workshop, and it's a public workshop. It's open to the public, but there's a fee. But if you want to get a discount, a one half off, join Insider. If you want to, you can join for December or join for a month and then let it go. I think you're going to find that you like it. Yeah. But if you want to get access to that for $47, I think it's a great value. It's a 2-hour business planning session, and we're going to use AI as part of this session, which is something new this year. So if you haven't joined, join, and everybody there gets access to that. So that's my pitch.
So members, you're in already.
Yeah.
Non-members, what do they do again?
Go to advancedsellingpodcast.com. That's a good point. /insider. And it'll take you right there, and you can check it out, and then you can buy it. You can enroll there.
Register there. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's really, really great. And that's worth, I'm telling you, if you want someone to facilitate your business planning session, which all of you should, and then get some feedback from people in the group and Bill, it's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's good.
High recommendation.
All right. So I got a quick funny story. I got to make sure my wife's not listening in. I don't.
That's right. You're in a different space. Shh, we'll whisper.
You know how sometimes when you tell people the way things are, they refuse to believe it. And I know we face this in our training. You know, we will say, well, here's how to do it. And they'll say, well, but that's not the way I've always done it. The way I've always done it is this way. And I'm frustrated. I'm struggling, but I'm going to stick to what I've always done.
Yeah.
So it's a lifelong thing. We all do it. It's called strongholds in the Bible. We have strongholds. We just latch onto a belief, and I don't care. You could show me how my belief is wrong. I'm not going to look at it. La, 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 la. I'm just not going to look and listen. So in the fall in Indiana, Midwest, we have a lot of leaves that shed off the trees. And I said, shed off the trees. And usually in the fall, in October, November, the garbage, the disposal people, the waste management people will pick up an extra 8 or 10 bags of leaves per Monday or whenever your day is.
Yeah.
So it's very nice, generous, and all that. So a couple of weeks ago, I raked and got stuff ready, and there was like 10 bags out there. And I came home midday the next day, and somebody had tried to stuff all these bags into our 2 blue large containers on wheels.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, who did that? What the hell? And I thought, well, maybe the garbage guy came by and tried to stuff it in, and he wouldn't take it. I didn't understand. I said to Jane, what's going on? She goes, oh, I stuffed it in because they want you to stuff those into the containers. I'm like, well, you have 10 bags. There's no way you're going to get 10 of those. You get 2 maybe in. So now you've got 6 sitting out and 2. She goes, well, I just, cut a brother a break. I mean, these guys, work hard, and if we can just help them a little bit. It's okay. So I'm all for cutting brothers breaks.
Yeah.
So next week I have some more leaves, probably 8 bags. And I came home at lunch, and all the bags were gone, but the garbage in the cans were not taken out, which tells me there's a different crew.
Yes.
The crew is not the same. It's a crew just for landscape trash and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I told her that night. I said, you don't have to stuff bags anymore because it's a whole different crew. And she goes, well, I don't know about that. I said, well, I do, because I came home, bags gone, cart containers still there. Something's going on unless we had somebody steal the bags of leaves. So we finally sorted that out. Well, this week I put out about 8 or 10 bags again. And I come back, midday, and the cans are still there, but they've been stuffed. She goes out and stuffs these damn things. And she goes, Cut a brother, come on, these guys. I'm like, it's a different crew. And then I said, that you're taking their livelihood away because they get paid per bag.
Exactly.
Paid per bag. I know they do. It's a commission.
Help your brother out.
Help a brother out. Yeah, help him make some more money. You're taking $4 or whatever it is, $1, and you're putting it in somebody else's pocket. I said, cut a brother. Oh, she did not like that. But isn't that funny how I told her she knew it. She goes, well, you better call Republic or better call her. I'm like, oh, I know. So what do you do? I mean, you just laugh, you just smile.
Oh, I'm laughing with you. Oh, it's funny. That is funny. And it's just like, there's no like changing the mind there. There's no evidence. And even still like, well, still want to stuff them in the trash can. Even if there's a second.
I said, if you go out there and look the next time, and these guys that are actually taking the bags, I bet they look at the containers and just shake their head.
Exactly. Like, what are they doing?
What are they doing to me? They took money out of my pocket.
Oh, mercy.
And they're all moping around
What happened? Then Christmas. Why? Well, cul-de-sac and Carmel. Stuffing the bag. They stuffed the bags. It's like a Seinfeld episode. No. Who's been stuffing the bags? You stuff the bags? No. Why do I stuff the bags?
Eat the dogs. Stuff the bags.
That is the perfect Seinfeld episode.
Oh,
no more stuffing the bags. Don't stuff the bags.
Well, I'll be playing this episode for her.
That is brilliant.
I should be mad at you too. So
that's okay. Because I'm with you. I believe you. Reasonable deduction tells me there's 2 crews.
Yeah.
I trust you inherently. And there's no reason to stuff the bags anymore.
And then she goes, why are you so obsessed with this? I'm like,
and now we podcasted about it.
Exactly.
7 minutes in.
I told her, I said, this will be a podcast episode. You go, oh, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, sure.
Okay. Let's get to it.
So Bill came up with a topic that is fantastic. So we're going to talk today about call it the ultra high achiever. We're going to go through and talk about people who sort of write their own rules, who break their own records, who are what some might say untouchable, people in their own league, people on an island, people on your sales team. Like, well, we all, there's 15 of us, but he's got his own thing.
Yeah.
And Bill triples the next closest person. We thought we'd talk about what those people in a 3-episode series, how do they think differently than even what I'd call regular high achievers? Mm-hmm. What do they do differently? And then episode 3, what do they say differently? What's their language like? You mentioned something before we started, which is we're not sure that people really think that there's that much difference. They think, I think you said, Bill, they're doing the same thing I'm doing. They're just doing more of it, or they've been doing it longer, or they got a better territory. Or something like that.
Or they have better relationships.
Yeah. Or they get better favors from operations, or they always get their deals pricing better. They.
Well, you and I have both worked with these people, and you could name them on a couple of hands. This is not a frequent thing, but it's, if we say the 80-20 rule, if you take that down, it's probably the 490 rule or whatever, where the 4% do what the 60% do. And so we've got some experience at that. We've each written down a handful of things. So why don't we do think first, as you said?
For sure.
You want to
think? Yeah. I'll just say what might be obvious, but maybe it isn't. This is why we're doing this. They think about outcomes in an exponential way. And so what I mean by that is most people compare themselves to the average. So most people measure themselves in a group of salespeople to the mean or the average. I find that ultra high achieving people have no visibility to the average whatsoever. They strictly measure themselves against their own potential performance, which tends to always be exponential relative to other people. And just simply put, if the average revenue in a 10-person sales team is $1 million, this person doesn't even consider $1 million in revenue at all. They don't even think about it. They
don't use that as the baseline. That's not the baseline. Yeah.
No, but someone who's on a team of 10 salespeople where the average of all sales territories is $1 million, does $1 million too, feels like they're doing great because they're 20% ahead of the average and probably in second or third place. And they get a nice little commission and bonus and they feel good about themselves and that sort of thing. ultra high achievement people, it's not even in their wherewithal, not even in their DNA to think anything close to average.
So in lieu of having a baseline that is either everybody else or average or even quota, what's the solution there? How should I be thinking? I've got an idea, but I want to hear yours.
Yeah,
How
sure.
should I be thinking about my goal differently?
Yeah, I think it's a measurement against the self. First of all, it's my own potential. I'm looking at my own potential. Now I'm using some data like past experience and what I've done in the past, but I'm always looking to increase that. And the other thing is, this is a trait I see. So God bless my Indiana Hoosiers football team. I mean, I've been an IU fan since I was a kid, and we're 10-0. And if you listen to their coach Signetti, he talks a lot about how they play and their toughness and resilience. But he also says, the last thing he says, it's one of their team mottos, is never satisfied. Never satisfied. They're not satisfied at 10-0. Nick Saban was not satisfied with a national championship. Bill Belichick was not satisfied with the 4th Super Bowl. They're never satisfied. I think ultra high achievement people are wired that way.
Yeah. I'm wondering how much sometimes we ultra high achievers will look at the possibilities or the potential of a territory instead of what I did last year or what everybody else.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's really good.
It's the possibility thinking that we don't usually engage in. Like when we do this business planning session here in a few weeks, that is one of the questions I'm going to ask is, okay, forget about past, forget about present. What's possible in your market, territory, in your business? What if you just take all the shackles off of priors and just look at what's possible? And not, well, if we got 100% of every deal, no, that's unlikely. But I think we should deal more in the possibilities there.
I love that.
Yeah,
I would agree. I would absolutely endorse that too. That they're never looking like backwards or down, and they're also not. So this might be another thinking thing. I also feel that ultra high achievers are extremely objective, way more so than average achievers or above average achievers, especially in sales. And what I mean by that is they're objective about the deals that they should be working on and deals that they shouldn't. They're really good at that. They're good discerners.
Yeah.
They are really good at knowing when a client should take a certain action or buy a certain quantity of stuff for certain reasons. And
I think that's number 2. I think you've kind of used your allotment here today.
Okay.
But I think that's number 2. I just had a lady in one of my programs. We were talking, she's been in it about 12 weeks. And I said, what are some things that you take out? And she said, detachment and objectively looking at things from an unemotional standpoint and being able to say, well, we can go down this road, but that ain't going to get us where we want to be. This road might be better. Let's talk about it. Let's ask the customer, which road do we want to? It's like, rather than keep it a secret from the customer or prospect, why don't we say, look, we've got 2 different avenues we can go down. Which one do you think we should go down? Totally detached from the outcome, getting input from all areas. I love that one.
Yes.
And she has been successful at doing some investment brokerage, investment capital, and it's because she's not emotionally tied up in knots over the outcome.
So much better.
It's objective. Okay, can I do one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I'm out.
I think, you've got 7. I think you did 7, 6 or 7.
I did too.
I think there's an extreme ownership of the outcomes, and these all kind of lay over each other or overlay each other. They don't lay over, they overlay. Anyway, and it's the idea that if it is to be, it is up to me. I think Dale Carnegie and Zig Ziglar said that. And if we are going to triple our business, our income, nobody's going to help you do it because, quite frankly, they may not know how. Your VP of marketing and sales may not know how to get you from $1 million of revenue to 10 million of revenue. Yeah. They will look at that and say, oh, slow down, Brian. I mean, come on, just go for 1.5. They don't know how. So you're going to have to be the architect of that destiny. And the way to do that is to take ownership of everything. Oprah Winfrey, we've talked about her before. While she's not one of my favorite people, generally she's an awesome businesswoman.
Yeah.
And she doesn't let anything go out of Harpo Studios unless she sees it.
Yep.
The color's not right on the magazine or her hair color's off, it doesn't go. And so she takes extreme ownership in everything. And I think we all need to be, if you want to be a high achiever, ultra high, I think you have to do that.
I also contrast this to the above average performer, the person, again, in a sales team of 40 who's number 5, who's feeling pretty good, not number 1. And how they look at the same thing that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no doubt there's this really big cliff drop off of extreme accountability.
Yeah.
Extreme ownership, as you said, that you just don't hear from the ultra high achievement people. They're just not wired that way, where even a number 4, did get number 1, I lost that big deal because the pricing was
because they screwed me.
They did.
Yeah. I've got a client who, I wouldn't call him an ultra high achiever, but he's moving in that direction. And he wanted to do a video series on YouTube, and his VP of sales said, "No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to, want you to be making cold calls." So he said to him, "Look, I'm not giving up on it. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to bring you the full idea. I'm going to shoot a sample video. I'm going to edit it. I'm going to show you exactly what it could look like." And the VP is like, "Okay, that's fine." So he went out, he paid a designer to design a thumbnail. He didn't build a set, but he got his set right. He bought a microphone for $30, and he had a $50 Fiverr dude edit this down, and it was really good. Now he shows it to his VP of sales, and his VP of sales says, "Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't all of our people?" And so sometimes when it takes extreme ownership, if you're not getting what you want, you probably haven't presented it properly. And you're going to have to go back to your drawing board and present it with a little riz and a little, jack it up, juice it up a little bit. So that's the idea.
Little riz. Your Grandpa Bill dropping the, you don't even have a kid that age anymore.
I don't know what it means, but
I know, because it's like your kids are a little older now. See, my kids are into the riz. I mean, geez, showing me up here. Got to get my game straight.
Gotta get your game face.
Nice drip there. Nice Pacers drip. You know what that is? Clothes like drip. That's like
Pacer drip. Yeah. Okay. Your turn, Mr. 5.
I get to go back. Okay, let's see. I will say on this one, they think about maybe I don't want to repeat what you said. They think about unconventionally. They think unconventionally. And so what unconventionally to me means here is they're constantly looking for new ways to do things without being prompted, told, or taught. So an easy example, I think you're going to talk about this in your business planning session, in the Insider, you said, is the leverage of use of AI. How to teach themselves how to use AI and to think, okay, I'm in this territory. I see this expansive stuff. I'm thinking a big, broad number here. And now I'm going to think, what tool can I go to harness that I don't know or that my competitors don't have, and that sort of thing. And they go and find it. So they think unconventionally. They would host their own TV show. It's an unconventional thought.
Right.
You know what I mean? They would think very, very differently. They would host a competitive summit with their competitors. Most people are like, "Oh, we can't do that." It's like, why? My competitors, I know one of these people, one of these high ultra people, he is so good with his competitors. And they're not trading secrets. But they have respect. They talk about, neutral, generic things in their industry. He's like a leader and a really respected competitor that way. So that's think unconventionally.
That's so good. That's unconventional.
Right.
And the example was, you're a pioneer. You say, "Oh, wait a minute, TikTok. I don't use TikTok. My kids do, but is this where the market's going? Should we have a TikTok channel?" I mean, they are unafraid, and Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this a lot. They're unafraid of saying, "I don't know, let's give it a go."
Right.
All we can do is, it's not like we're having to build a TikTok studio. I mean, it's just, but they are willing to take risks in those unconventional ways of thinking. I love that.
Good.
I've got one here that I don't know how you feel about this, but I've seen it too many times, so it's a trend to me, where the ultra high achiever is kind of not motivated by the financial impact. They're more motivated by the purpose of their business life, and they're focused on serving the customer at the highest, best possible value, and they're focused on serving as many customers as they can, and they're doing group trainings instead of one-to-one. They're focused so much on the purpose behind the business and not so much on the spoils of the business. And that's not everybody, But it feels to me like when you are driven by purpose, nothing's hard. There's no fear. There's no like, oh, what are they going to think of me? It's like, I don't care. I don't care what they think because I'm on purpose for this. What do you think about that?
100% agree. 100% agree. They, and I add, where I thought you were going, which is not, I love where you went. You very rarely do you hear these people talk about their commission check and stuff. They feel very comfortable in their own skin with what they've achieved. But the other part of this is they obsess over the process to get there more so than the outcome. They love the deal strategy stuff. They love the engineering of a solution for a customer. Yeah. They love pulling in outside resources that aren't there and doing unique things. It's the love of the hunt and just the process, the in-between part, way more than the outcome. That's really good. It's very true.
Yeah, it's behind, it's backstage stuff. It's not things you'll see. It's them in the evening hours by a candlelight with soft music and
a Ouija board.
Less of noir. Is planning out their day. And it's a blank piece of paper that they fill up with brainstorming and ideas and iterations, and they ruminate on things and they ask questions and they document and they draw. That stuff the average achiever just doesn't do.
No.
Like, I got to watch Netflix. I don't have time for that. All right.
And we can talk about this later. One of the questions I have, let's talk about in the next episode in the doing, is do the average people not do it because they don't want to, or they don't know how, or both? Let's talk about that in the doing thing. I'm just interested in that.
So when you know to do but don't do.
Totally. Exactly. Yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's enough for today. We could go in a lot of different directions with this, but just suffice it to say that how one thinks determines how one acts. And if you want to be an ultra high achiever, you've got to change your thinking. And that's what we tried to give you today. There's several others. Become self-aware, which actually you already did. But we'll catch you next week and we'll do the to-do part. What do ultra high achievers do differently? All right.
See you next time.
Okay. Bye.